Hello everyone, welcome to Broadview. My name is Joseph. Today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic, the existence of mermaids. Legends of mermaids exist in many countries around the world, yet no one has been able to confidently say they've seen one for sure. So do mermaids really exist? Before we talk about some evidence pointing to the existence of mermaids, let's briefly introduce the legends of these creatures from around the world. The first mermaid in history appeared in the ancient Assyrian Empire in 1000 BC. Her name is Atargatis, the Syrian goddess of the harvest, and is one of the most worshipped goddesses in ancient Greek mythology. The size of her temple is second to none in Syria. Legend has it that the goddess Atargatis fell in love with a mortal, but accidentally killed him. At the time she was already pregnant, but she blamed and couldn't forgive herself for her lover's death. Finally, after giving birth to the child, she chose to jump into the sea and kill herself. However, the god of the sea was taken by her beauty and decided to save her. She was transformed into a mermaid and became the first of the mythical creatures. In the whole of European collection of mermaid lore, the most famous is the siren, a sea demon of Greek mythology. According to Homer's Odyssey, sirens had the upper bodies of beautiful women, but fishtails instead of legs. They lured sailors with their enchanting songs and voices. It was said that those who heard their songs would lose their minds and be unable to control their desires. In order to get close to them, sailors would jump off their ships and ultimately become the sirens' meals. Almost no one could resist the charm of their song. It is said that only two heroes of Greek mythology safely passed through the sirens' territory on the sea. One of them was Odysseus, the hero of the Trojan War. Odysseus was leading a fleet of ships through the strait when he learned in advance of the siren's deadly song that was irresistible to mortals. So he plugged the ears of all his sailors and had them tie him to the mast to avoid being tempted. When he heard the enchanting song of the sirens, he struggled desperately, hoping to get out of his bindings. Only after the siren's song was out of earshot did they pass through safely. The other hero was the great ancient Greek musician Orpheus. He had the bright idea to begin playing his lyre when his ship sailed near the Sirens' Island. Because the sound of his lyre sounded like heavenly music and was more moving than the song of the sirens, the sailors could only hear the sound of the lyre. The song of the sirens was drowned out and the fleet crossed the strait successfully. According to ancient Greek texts, sirens were actually half human, half bird demonesses with wings and feathers. Later, because the sirens lost in a singing contest with the muses, the goddesses of the arts, their wings were plucked by the muses so that they could no longer fly. The sirens who had lost their wings had to wander around the coastline, sometimes changing into the appearance of mermaids. In addition to Greek mythology, there are similar descriptions in German mythology. The German mermaid is called a Lorelei. It is said that there was a huge rock on the Rhine River, on top of which sat a mermaid with golden hair. The mermaids sang there every day, charming the sailors passing by and leading their boats to crash on the rock and splinter to pieces. She then ate the sailors, so she wasn't exactly the nicest. Ireland's mermaid is called the Merrow, meaning singer of the sea. There are both male and female merrows, with green hair and tails, and transparent flaps between their fingers that look like webbing. Female merrows can have children with humans, but the child will be born with scales. It seems that descriptions of mermaids around the world are pretty similar. All have human faces and bodies of the fish, with beautiful voices that can enchant humans. Let's look at this from a different perspective. What if what we hear is not a song, but rather a sound wave that can make us feel pleasure? The song that we'd hear is sort of like their superpower, which is enough to lure in any human being to achieve their purpose. Therefore, the presence of mermaids is often a symbol of bad luck and is considered an ominous sign, and is usually associated with dangerous things such as floods, storms, shipwrecks, and drownings. Now, let's get back to our main topic and focus on mermaid sightings in real life. Since there are so many mermaid videos on the internet, it's pretty difficult to distinguish the real from the fake. So we've selected the 7 most credible videos to share with you today. This is from a documentary from 1979. When a German ocean-going fishing boat was out fishing, its sailors recorded something incredible. As the fishermen brought up the fishing net, they suddenly found a creature in the net struggling frantically. We can obviously see something that looks like a human hand waving about, with what seems like webbing in between the fingers. The crew was so frightened and panicked that amidst the confusion they released the creature. This video was released by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or the NOAA. The date marked on the top right of the video is June 16, 2006. When a deep-sea camera was checking an oil tank located more than 1,000 meters underwater, it captured an image of a fish shot by a javelin. According to an investigation afterwards, the javelin was not the product of human industrial manufacturing at all. It was not suitable for human land-based fishing use, but seemed to be more suitable for direct underwater use. Who was using these sharp tools to catch fish under the sea? An Australian man was diving in the sea near the Great Barrier Reef in Queensland when he suddenly noticed a creature that looked like a mermaid that kept swimming around him. He rushed to take this video with his camera. The scene shows some sort of creature swimming quickly across the sea floor. It has 2 long arms and a huge tail fin, and really does look like a mermaid. Experts have confirmed that the video was not faked or edited. Now, this video was taken in Poland in September 2015 and is considered to be the clearest video of a mermaid. British newspaper The Mirror also reported on this at the time. In the video, a group of people wearing white protective clothing are seen carrying a creature onto a stretcher near the lake. The video clearly shows that the creature has a fish tail, but the upper body looks human. It has hands and a beard on its face. If it's just a normal fish, then why did the people in the video need to wear hazmat suits? Polish authorities ultimately didn't respond to questions about the authenticity of this video.
What is that? Oh my God! What is that?
This video is a very famous one of a mermaid sighting. The witness, Shlomo Cohen, said that he noticed a woman lying in a very strange position on the rocks by the shore, seemingly enjoying some sunbathing. But when he pointed the camera at her, he realized that she had a dolphin-like tail and a streamlined black body. Then this mermaid looked back at the tourists, revealing a lighter colored belly, and with a swing of her tail quickly jumped into the sea and disappeared. At least 5 people saw her at the same time. Scientists analyzed the mermaid's movements and concluded that it wasn't a human pretending to be a mermaid. Its movements were fully consistent with the characteristics of marine mammals. The Israeli government offered a reward of $1.2 million for the next sighting, but no one has captured this mermaid on video since then. In 2003, an even more shocking video was released in the UK, and it wasn't made public until recent years. At the time, the British Coast Guard was conducting rescue exercises at sea. The scene shows a creature suddenly jumping out of the sea on the right side of the patrol boat. It has glowing eyes and a sagittal crest on its head. People have speculated that this is a mermaid, but a Coast Guard spokesman denied the claim, saying it was just a seal. Many people also question this. Seals' eyes do glow, but the creature in the video had a prominent sagittal crest on its head, which seals don't have. A sagittal crest is a ridge-like projection of bone along the top midline of the skull, and many mammals and reptiles have it. Later, 2 members of the recorded exercise came forward and said that when they found the creature during the exercise, they mistakenly thought it was a man that had fallen in the water. Later, they found out that it was not a man at all, but a creature they had never seen before. So people are speculating that the British Navy seems to be hiding something. Speaking of the sagittal crest on this mermaid, there's someone we have to mention here. He is the famous US showman and circus founder, P.T. Barnum. In 1842, Barnum opened a world-famous exhibition in a New York concert hall, with the most famous exhibit being a specimen of a Fiji mermaid. However, Barnum later admitted that the specimen was made from the dried carcass of an ape and the bottom half of a large dried fish that had come from a Japanese artifact made in the East Indies. Later, a mermaid was sighted in the Indian Ocean, and Barnum immediately offered a large reward for its purchase. A few months later, a live specimen of a 3-meter-long mermaid arrived at the Barnum Museum. At that time, Barnum's American Museum had posters up everywhere with a mermaid printed front and center. People could not wait to see this creature. Now, unfortunately, as things go, before the museum opened, a fire burned it to the ground and the mysterious mermaid disappeared. In 2010, in commemoration of Barnum's 200th birthday, people were cleaning up Barnum's relics when, to their surprise, they found a black and white photo of the mermaid. The photo showed that the mermaid had a streamlined body, a paddle-like tail like a dolphin's, hands very similar to a human with webbing in between the fingers, and of course, the sagittal crest along its skull. Even more surprisingly, the mermaid had 3 gills on both its left and right side, just like a shark, meaning that this mermaid relied on gills to breathe. All of these features are identical to the mermaid that the British Coast Guard encountered in 2003. Marine biologists have studied these photos and concluded that either these photos are real or the faker is a top marine biologist, because all the features displayed by this mermaid are in line with those of a deep-sea creature. Dr. Schmidt is a marine geologist from Denmark's Greenland. He and his team's main job is to dive to the bottom of the sea for reconnaissance surveys and seabed sampling. In 2010, they manned a small submarine and captured a very scary sound 1,000 meters below the surface of the sea. The geological survey said it was the sound of a pilot whale, but Dr. Schmidt didn't think so. He thought that it was probably the sound of an unknown creature, such as a mermaid, and immediately asked the government to stop oil exploration in the area in order to reduce the damage to marine life. Not only did the director refuse his request, but he also signed a non-disclosure agreement that did not allow him to make the videos public. The oil there was worth more than $900 million, so they certainly could not stop mining. And Dr. Schmidt did not have enough evidence to prove the existence of mermaids, so he had to compromise for the time being. But since then, he has been gathering more evidence. He and his team tried to attract mermaids by broadcasting the strange sound from the location where it was first recorded. He continued to do this for 7 months until March 6, 2013, when they caught the shadow of a mermaid whose hands were clearly webbed and whose shape and face could be seen on video. After seeing this unknown creature in person, they believed that the legend of mermaids was true. Dr. Schmidt sent the video evidence to the Danish authorities, and the government soon responded by halting all oil exploration work. Kuwait's newspaper, The Torch, reported on August 24, 1980, that a mermaid had been found along the coastline of the Red Sea. But it had a fish body and 2 legs and 10 toes just like a human. Unfortunately, the mermaid was already dead when it was found. Since there is no actual photo, we have no clue whether this is true or false, of course. But if it is true, it means that there are indeed many kinds of mermaids. Some have a human upper body and fish tail, while some have the upper body of a fish and the lower body of a human. Then does this mean that there are also mermaids with both the upper and lower bodies of a human, but have gills to survive in the sea? Many countries' cultures talk about mermaids, and there are many similarities between the mermaids in different cultures. Whether it be in Asia, Greece, or Egypt, the mermaids in every picture and portrait are very similar. How could there be such a coincidence among the ancient humans around the world? The ocean covers more than 70% of the Earth's surface, but for now, humans have only explored and know 5% of the oceans. There remains 95% that we know nothing about. So what do you think of the question of the existence of mermaids? Feel free to leave a comment and let us know. Finally, here's a fun fact. The Starbucks logo is, in fact, a mermaid holding its two tails. Did you even notice it? It said that its design is inspired by the story of the sirens and symbolizes that their drinks are irresistible. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like and share it with friends and family. Subscribe if you haven't already, and remember to turn on that bell icon so that you won't miss future videos. That's it for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.